Believe it or not, offers are rolling in to buy one of the most controversial pieces of evidence in the Casey Anthony trial, her white Pontiac Sunfire. The car is owned by George and Cindy Anthony, and according to their lawyer, Mark Lipman, monies collected will be donated to a foundation established in the memory of Caylee Anthony. Casey Anthony, on the other hand, is fielding offers for a big payday. But she's not the only accused murderer looking to cash in.
She got off on murder and is hoping to cash in. He's facing trial, but also seeing dollar signs. Casey Anthony and Drew Peterson, two infamous people in a position to rake in the dough for their alleged crimes.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
After acquittal, rumors of interview deals for Casey Anthony began immediately. The first potential suitor to speak publicly, Al Taylor, a freelance producer, offering $1 million.
Here's how we're doing it. We're selling the interview overseas, in all our markets overseas.
But last week, Jose Baez was in New York, reportedly meeting with ABC, NBC, and CBS executives. The rumored price tag for snagging Casey's interview? $1.5 million. There's also a deal on the table from good old Larry Flint, offering Casey $500,000 plus a cut of the magazine's profits to pose nude in Hustler.
I still believe she died of an accident.
Then there's Drew Peterson. News spread a few weeks ago about a Lifetime movie being made about him, starring a mustached Rob Lowe. Immediately, Peterson's lawyers sent a cease and desist letter to the filmmakers. At first, they cited concerns over a tainted jury pool in his upcoming trial for the death of his third wife. Then, they go on to say that if anyone is making money off of Drew Peterson's name, it should be Drew Peterson. Any cash Peterson and Casey Anthony get is totally legal, but should it be?
Tonight, sources report that Casey Anthony is seeking treatment for serious mental issues before committing to any interviews. Joel Brodsky is Drew Peterson's attorney, and Glenn Selig is a publicist for Drew Peterson and former publicist for Jose Baez. All right, welcome, gentlemen. Joel, I'll go to you. This week, the Illinois Appellate Court affirmed the inadmissibility of third wife Kathleen Savio's statements that Drew Peterson was trying to kill her. What does this mean for the case?
Well, it means we're back where we were a year ago. The government does not have enough of a case to go forward. They said that when they filed the appeal. They said they didn't have sufficient evidence to go forward. That's why they had to appeal. And that's where we are now. They simply don't have a case that Drew did anything wrong or had any connection at all with Kathleen's death.
All right, so if these statements regarding her fear that he was going to kill her, as I recall, Joel, she actually had her will done because she believed he would kill her. Is there any possibility that this case goes forward? Is there any forensics that you're aware of?
There's absolutely no evidence, no physical evidence. There's not a fingerprint, not a footprint, not a sign of forced entry. There's not a statement, not an eyewitness. There's absolutely no evidence that Drew had anything to do with Kathleen's death whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they can't even prove that Kathy's death was anything but an accident.
Well, they certainly went back and forth on that one after they exhumed the body, Joel, but wife number 4, Stacy, she's never been found. Any talk about his being prosecuted for her disappearance or death, presumed death?
None whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think Glenn had sent me an article about a woman in Florida who had disappeared 40 years ago and was found alive living in another state. The government simply doesn't have any proof.
And you know, Joel, that's very much the issue. How do you prove that they're actually dead if you don't have a body? Now, what did Drew say when he heard that there was a movie being made about him, Joel?
Well, I mean, it was typical Drew Peterson comment. I told him that there was going to be a movie and Rob Lowe was going to play him, and he said it was okay, but he'd rather have Denzel Washington play him. Oh,
all right, Glenn, you represent Drew Peterson.
But that's just Drew.
Obviously, I think we all have met as much of him as we want to. But Glenn, you represent Drew. If he gets off, is he going to be shopping around for an interview like Little Miss Anthony there?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that he is nothing like Casey Anthony, and I don't think that the two cases are really comparable in any way, shape, or form. I understand why the media likes to link these cases together, but really, they are nothing alike. And he is innocent in this country until proven otherwise.
My question
His life has been virtually destroyed.
Is he going to be shopping for a deal? That's my question.
If there's an interest from people out there in his story, he will obviously take a look at whatever offers come to the table. Why shouldn't he? His life has been completely disrupted.
Well, you know, I don't know that many men who have so many wives who've disappeared off the face of the earth, but that's another issue. Glenn, let's turn to Casey Anthony. Do you think the rumors about a $1.5 million offer are legit?
I do believe that they probably have put something out there that they would like to have $1.5 million in order for her to do an interview. Do I think that they'll actually get that? No. Do I think the networks are willing to touch this story? I don't. I think this case is way too toxic, and I think it would be too problematic for them to take advantage.
I think this whole idea of her getting therapy is to soften her perception so that maybe they will get some money. And by the way, real fast, does she strip down for Hustler, Joel? What do you think?
I don't believe
yes or
so.
No?
I think
Glenn?
that no, not at all.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Thanks so much for being with us, Joel and Glenn. And of course, next, a beautiful